Peace, family. Yo, want to ask you guys a question because it's something that I noticed. Did anybody see the State of the Black Union? As a matter of fact, did anybody even notice that it was Black History Month in February? Because it seemed like that just went by, like completely unnoticed. And I didn't even it took me until like the middle of March before I realized, wait a minute, don't they have the State of the Black Union in February? So I went online just to see if I could find it, like any clips of it. And I saw a clip. I didn't actually watch it because I saw the beginning. And the only clips that I saw that were available on YouTube had Michael Steele in them, the chairman of the RNC. And so that pretty much gave me an indication of why nobody paid any attention to it. And, you know, obviously I didn't miss anything. But what it got me thinking about was a conversation I had with my nephew. And we were just talking, and he said something that I thought was extremely profound. And what he said was, black leadership is kicking a whack ass freestyle, and they need to get off the mic and let somebody else kick a flow and rock the crowd. He was using a hip hop metaphor, and I thought it was so appropriate because when you really think about it, the black state of the Black Union is just like a hip hop freestyle battle. I mean, think about it. You kick a flow, you kick some lyrics. The people jump up, they hoop and they holler, they clap and they applause, they go ooh and ah, and then at the end, whoever kicked the tightest flow, the tightest lyrics wins. And just like a freestyle battle, you don't actually win anything. It's just props. And I think it's totally fitted. Only thing that I would say in regards to what he said about black leadership is that that would be all of them. And I know there's some people out there, saying, well, I know you can't be talking about blank, and I know you can't be, speaking about blank blank. And the answer to that is, yeah, I'm talking about blank, and I'm talking about blank blank. All of them, you know? And like Antoine Fisher said in that movie, it's my time now. And I don't mean just me in terms of, as an individual myself. I just think that it's this generation's time to get on the mic, and everybody else that's been rocking that mic for about how long? About 40, 50 years needs to put the mic down. Give it up. Your flow is not kicking no more. Nobody's feeling your vibe. Let the younger generation take over and let them rock the mic. You know, at some point, you have to let the children take the baton and run with the globe. You know, if you have a fear that they don't have what it takes to do it, then you got to blame yourself for not instilling in them the tools it takes, and not for their incompetency, because their incompetency is basically your fault. I mean, who knows? Maybe experience and responsibility will make them step up to the plate and teach them in ways that the parents never could have been able to. I just feel that our collective brainchild needs to be given the baton and allowed to run. And if they drop it or they burn the house down to the ground, at least they can, be said that they were given the opportunity to do so. And very rarely when you put responsibility in somebody else's hands, you give them, it's sort of like when you have a child, you could say, don't touch that lamp. Or you could say, I'm going to leave you responsible for that lamp. Two different things. One, they don't do it out of fear. The other, they don't do it because they don't want to let you down. And they want to show that they're responsible. You know, And just to talk about the hip hop metaphor, you know, I want to make a parallel between the hip hop leadership and the black leadership. Um, it makes me think of hip hop, like Rakim, KRS One, Big Daddy Kane, LL Cool J, Cool G Rap, etc., etc., etc. They've done their job. Their place in history of hip hop is solidified. If they never have another number one single again, it will not take away from their impact and influence on the game. You know what I mean? It's just a damn disgrace. If it would be a disgrace if people in hip hop were looking for the pioneers who paved the way to actually be the ones to save hip hop. I mean, people should have learned from them, took the principles behind what they did, took the baton and ran with it. But one thing I will say about these hip hop pioneers, most if not all of them, at least had the common sense to gracefully bow out and acknowledge their time has passed. And I'm not talking about, keep in mind, I'm not saying that because you are a certain age or whatever, you've been in it, you can't make music anymore. Because I feel that that's stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like hip hop should be timeless, just like any other art form. And people want to make music. You should be 60 and make a hip hop record. You know what I'm saying? I don't look at it that way. But that time for being that hot MC, that's over. It's just like Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder doesn't need another number one hit. And thank God. They've been there, they've done that already. They're legends, and they should, enjoy their legendary status and let the new generation run with the globe. That's the one difference between the hip hop leadership and black leadership now today. Because the same old MCs is picking up the mic and kicking the same whack ass freestyle that they've been kicking for the last 40 years. The crowd is going to sleep, people is looking at their watches, everybody's bored, and yet these niggas is still rapping, still saying the same shit. You know, I don't know. All I know is this. It's time to put the mic down. If there's one thing I will say that is, if Barack Obama brought anything, I think a lot of people just got tired with the whole Black History Month and the State of the Black Union because they felt that we scored the touchdown when Barack Obama became president. And even though I don't feel we scored the touchdown when he became president, the one silver lining is that maybe a couple of Negroes will feel the need not to pick up the mic anymore. Because we need to start talking about some real, real shit. And the time for the flowery rhetoric and the oohs and the ahs from some ill stuff that you said, and then after the speech is over, you go back to whatever you're doing, and you never get together with the other leadership and try to develop some type of blueprint or plan that we can implement that requires something besides talking. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thoughts on that. Um, just wanted to know what y'all thought about the state of the black freestyle. That's what I call it from now on. I don't call it the state of the black union. It's officially the state of the black freestyle, and we should refer to it as that from now on. Peace.